We're back with another episode today. My guest is Rais, the Beast, Aleem. Peace, brother. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm doing all right.
Appreciate you stepping on here with me, man. I really do. Thank you for taking the time out. So let's get right on into it then. All right. So I always ask the boxers or anybody associated with combat sports, mainly boxing, about the top five. So one of the top fives would be this one. Can you name your top five Mexican boxers of all time?
Oh man, I'd have to say Chavez, De La Hoya, Canelo. Man, it's just so many. I'd have to say those are the top three. I got to put Pacquiao up in there.
Pacquiao, Philippine, man.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, he's Filipino. Damn. I just got to give you my top three. There's so many. There's a lot of Mexican fighters who are just great warriors. They come to fight. They put that pressure on. They in there.
Yeah, yes, sir. All right, so mine would be Ricardo Finito Lopez.
Okay.
Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, Salvador Sanchez, and then Juan Manuel Marquez.
Okay. Yeah. I used to like Marquez.
Yeah. Well, you said used to. What happened? What made you fall off the bandwagon?
He just stopped fighting. I'll always still be a fan, of course, but like I just kind of used to like some of the things that he did inside the ring. Especially like some of this preparation. Even like when he was preparing for the Pacquiao fight. Throwing that overhand right hand, preparing for Pacquiao to lunge in.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
catching Pacquiao on that bounce, and I think he was doing a good job of it because I would sit there and just watch it. Like, I don't think the judges necessarily know, and I know that got to suck for you guys because the judge is just looking for the best action that they can see. You know what I mean? I don't think a lot of them really understand what it is that's going on in the ring, especially from a technical aspect. And I think Marquez kept trying his best and finally did catch him on that bounce. On that rhythm bounce when he came in and knocked his ass unconscious and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was one of those fights. And you could just see it in his face. He was always frustrated. And I was like, man, if they knew what he was doing, they would give him a little bit more, you know what I mean? A little bit more support and a judging. But he did have some really great fights against Pacquiao. I thought that last one should have been it.
Yeah. But that's what it's all about, stepping up to the plate, going to war, coming out on top.
Yeah, because they had all four of those fights were vicious.
Oh yeah, they was going at it.
Yeah, vicious. The motherfuckers felt like they really, really hated each other, man. Like
exactly, and that's the thing. It was no bad blood outside the ring, like. It was all business, pride.
It was like them niggas like, yo, you stole money from me, cuz I want my shit back.
Yeah.
So tell me, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Muskegon, Michigan. So that's like 5 hours or 4 hours from Detroit, about 4 hours from Chicago.
Okay, yeah. So you ain't too far from the crib. I'm from Chicago, by the way. I think I might have told you that already, but yeah, I'm from Chicago, and we used to go up there for some time on vacation or see family and shit like that. So we would go like Detroit or I think it was Grand Rapids at some point. So I think Flint was a destination as well.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah. So how was it growing up in Michigan for you?
Growing up in Michigan was tough. Small town. I went from like the hood to like the country to back to the hood because my pops took me and my brother from the hood and moved us out to the country, just wanted a better life for us and all that. And, we was living in hell living with my pops. So then we moved back with my mom into the hood and stuff like that. And then, the struggles of boxing, trying to box in a small town, you got to travel and, for sparring and stuff like that.
Because it ain't a lot happening.
Exactly. It's real low level. I never sparred a pro until I was pro.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That whole time on your journey, you never had even through the amateur circuit?
Nah, I would go to different gyms and spar other amateurs, but like never sparred a pro. But when I did turn pro, that's when we had to travel. We would travel to Chicago to spar, we'd go to Detroit. That's a 4-hour drive, so it was tough, even Ohio. But we just had to find a way and we made it happen.
You definitely gonna get some work in Ohio, bro. You definitely gonna get some work there. If you don't get no work there, it must be like a fucking nuclear bomb hit that place, because they got some hitters over there, bro. They
Yeah,
got some hitters over there. So at what point did you know that you wanted to turn pro through the amateur career?
Well, it's like I've always been an athlete. I was athletically on my feet since I was 3. I got my black belt in karate when I was like 12, turning 13. I started boxing like right afterwards. And I was naturally good. So I just kind of stuck with it. And being a kid from the hood, small town, being able to travel for free and get to fight, it's like, oh shit, this is pretty cool. Like going to the nationals and stuff like that. And no matter what I had going on in life, boxing was always my outlet.
Okay.
So my father figure, who was my first boxing coach, Terry Markowski, he was the one who was investing his own money, picking me up, dropping me off from the gym, taking me to these tournaments and fights, paying to go to Chicago, Detroit, Ohio, all that. And we would talk about it, like turning pro and everything. And I had a stablemate, Johnny Garcia. He had turned pro, and he actually gave Ugas his first loss. They fought on Showtime or whatever, but he was my stablemate, and I'm in the gym grinding at the time. And Terry told me like, yeah, you should turn pro. So I did, and that's how it started.
Okay. How many fights had you had as an amateur at that point?
I had about 75 amateur fights.
Okay.
Yeah, I had about 75. So, I had I was made it to the Golden Gloves National semifinals 2 years in a row. I've been to the Nationals probably 4 or 5 times. I've been to the USAs and stuff like that. I kind of came up with a lot of the, good guys and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. So that once you signed pro, did you keep Terry around with you as a manager or anything?
Yeah, so when I first turned pro, Terry was my trainer and my manager, and I was I was 3-0 with 2 knockouts, and then I had a chance to fight my first undefeated fighter early in my career. He was 4-0 with 3 knockouts. This was on the Adrian Broner undercard back when HBO was still around. We was the first fight of the night. This was in Ohio, so I went in his backyard. I dropped him in the first round, dominated every round. I won. And after that, nobody wanted to fight me, So I went a minute without getting a fight. I went like 2 years, and then I signed with Cameron Duncan, and then I thought, okay, cool. I just got to train and be ready. My career is gonna take off.
Yeah.
That shit didn't happen. I had a few fights and shit went stagnant. Like I don't know.
Because I've been looking at that. That was one thing. I'm glad you said that. I've been looking at it. Like, what is with the stagnant part of your career? Like it'll be like you will have a few fights straight, and then it's like, all right, no. And I wanted to ask you, is it injury, or is it just because nobody wants to fight you?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. It's always been hard for me to get fights.
Well, I watched you, bro. So I see. I get it. I
mean, but like, I've never had anybody with money behind me. Ain't nobody paid for my fights. I ain't never fought in Mexico or nothing like that. I just feel like I never had an opportunity to fail. We tried fighting undefeated fighters. We tried fighting guys with 50-50 records. We even tried to fight bums just to get in there and, kind of keep it going. And it wasn't happening. I honestly just believe that Cameron didn't believe in me. He believed in me enough to sign me, but he didn't believe in me enough to move me, because there's this kid named Ed Brown, rest in peace. He was from Chicago. Great fighter. We'd actually sparred a few times, and he ended up signing with Cameron. This nigga was fighting like every weekend. Cameron called me once, like, oh, can you fight this weekend? I'm like, yeah, I've been dying for a fight.
Yeah.
Never heard from him. I'm talking about 3 weeks go by. Like, hey, the fight's still happening, whatever. And like, he never got back to me. Like, just didn't
Wow.
even say anything happening.
Wow. Did you guys have any like discourse between each other, between you guys or
I
anything?
just, I heard Terrence Crawford mention when he was signed with them at the time that Cameron doesn't pick up the phone or something like that. And I'm like, yo, this shit's fucking relatable. Like, I don't want to talk bad about nobody, but like, I lived through this shit, like, I'm talking about, you want to talk about depressed, everybody around you that you're in the gym with, training with, sparring with, they're getting fights.
Yeah.
And you're ready to fight, you're grinding, but you're just stuck. Like, it's just not happening.
Bryce, I was wondering, I'm like, man, because I was looking at the fights and I was like, he'll have 2 or 3 fights and then it's a drop off. It's a 2 fights and it's a drop off. Another 2 fights and then he just drops off.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's why I still consider myself a young fighter. I've missed out on like 4.5 years of fighting. Like, I've stayed in the gym. It wasn't injuries. It first happened early in my career. It secondly happened after I signed with Cameron, had a few fights, boom. And then that's when I decided to stop listening to managers, trainers, promoters, and take my life into my own hands, my life and my career. That's when I made a plan. I moved to Vegas. I was training myself for 1.5 years. And then I had an opportunity to fight a undefeated fighter. He was 8-0 with 8 knockouts. And this is coming off a 2.5 year lockup, layoff, and me training myself. I jumped on that opportunity. Dropped him in the first round, dominated every round, almost stopped him in the last round. But if I had 10 more seconds, I'm stopping the dude. But I won. And that started the domino effect, and that's why I moved the way that I moved, because it's like, fuck that. I got me here. I didn't, if I was listening to everybody else, I'd still be in Michigan, working at a grocery store, grinding, trying to make this shit happen. And it's just, yeah.
It wasn't going to work for you doing it like that, huh?
Exactly.
Your style, watching you fight, you have a mixture of people. So tell me who it is that you pull from as far as boxing goes. Because I was looking at it and I was like, I see some Roy Jones in there. No. I see some Pernell Whitaker at certain points, and I see some Sugar Ray Robinson. But you tell me who it is that you pull from.
I mean, honestly, I feel like when I'm in the ring, I'm kind of like a chameleon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe, like, when I fight most people, I have multiple paths to victory. So I feel like you have to be diverse. You can't just fight going to the left. I can fight going left. I can fight going right. I can box. I can counter punch. I can go forehead to forehead. So depending on who I'm in with depends on what style you might see from me. But there's never been a guy that I tried to imitate. Okay. Now, there'll be certain things that I was like, okay, I like that. Like, okay, I like Pacquiao's footwork. I like how he has that little box or that little bounce. I like Marquez's timing, or how the monster throws a certain body punch. It's like, okay, I like that. I might steal that. Or I like how Roy Jones throws his left hook. The way he's positioned before he throws it, or like what he does to kind of bait somebody. So it's kind of, if I see it, I can do it. We might be in fight and I see you do some shit, and I might do it right back to you.
Okay. Yeah, because I was looking, I was like, I see some Roy in there, man. The way you throw that left hook, I was like, okay, I know where that comes from. I know where that push and pull motion comes from. I was looking like, yeah, that's Roy right there. Because okay, so here's another thing. At one point, it looked like you were on your way to the top. Is this part of that whole drop off where you're not just being able to get fights consistently?
No, this is just you know how it is. Like when you're up and coming, shit, you can fight every weekend, but when you get to a certain level, that shit, kind of slows down a little bit. Maybe you fight 3 times a year, maybe you fight twice. I mean, ideally, I want to fight 3 times a year, but a lot of that is out of my hands. Sometimes it's boxing politics. Like I was the WBA mandatory challenger for the world title for like 2 years.
For 2 years.
Yeah, against Akhmadalia. But he's on
that's the point I'm talking about. I was like, okay, he's gonna end up getting that fight and getting a chance.
And here's the thing about it, like as a fighter, like hell yeah, you want that shot, you want that opportunity, but then here's the boxing politics. He fights on a whole nother network. He's on DAZN and all that, and I'm on PBC, so it's like the fighters can want to fight, but the fight may never happen. And you can be a mandatory and still get passed up. And I don't know. But now they're kind of cleaning up the division. You know, a lot of different things are happening. You know, I'm rocking with the WBO right now. So my next fight's supposed to be a title eliminator. So once I win that, I'll get the winner of Fulton Roman, period. Or they'll have to vacate. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting that shot after I get this guy out the way.
Okay. Do you think at some point maybe you should have someone in your corner or have yourself talk to like the zone and see if you could still get that title shot or something like that?
I mean, like, so I won 2 world title eliminator fights with the WBA, 2 back to back. I had a fight schedule on the books, and then they told me I had a mandatory fight with another guy for another title eliminator fight, and then the winner gets MJ. But it's like, yo, I already won 2. Like, what makes me think after I beat this dude,
I'm gonna get
who's to say it's gonna happen again? And I already had a fight scheduled, you know, contract signed and everything. So it was like, well, look, I got to take this fight, and then afterwards we can talk and do business or whatever. They weren't trying to hear that, so I moved on. They moved on. You know.
So in your position, have you hired another manager, or did you just get yourself a lawyer and leave like that?
I still have a manager. You know, I got a manager, promoter, but it's just it wouldn't have done me any good. You know, it just at this point in time, you know, because like things are still lining up for me to fight for the world title this year. You know, I should be fighting maybe in May or early June, and then I should be fighting for the world title before the end of the year.
I hope so, man. Like I really want to see you back in the ring, man. I need more people need to see you fight.
Yeah. You know, I just have to stay true to myself and you know, make sure that I'm better than I was the last time I stepped in the ring. You know, physically, mentally, everything like that. And I believe everything else is just there.
So if I asked you, could you fight next Saturday? Would you be ready to go?
I mean, yeah, physically and mentally, I'm ready. Now, you just got to cut that weight.
Okay.
And see, here's the thing. Sometimes cutting weight is harder than the fight. Like, I killed myself to make weight my last fight. Like, it was on some other shit that I ain't never been through. So
is it like, the Ahmadaliya fight?
No. This was like when I fought in November, but like
okay.
So now I'm on some shit like, okay, look, if I struggle like that next time around, I absolutely have to move up in weight. Like, there's no ifs and buts about it. But if I keep my mind right and shit like that, I won't struggle like I did.
All right,
and
so that's I gotta ask you then. I gotta ask you, and I don't know what the answer's gonna be. How much weight do you gain in between fights?
I don't gain a whole lot, but it also depends how long the layoff is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you're expected to be back in another, you know, 3-4 months, that's one thing. You know, 6-8 months, it's like, fuck, that's another. But I don't blow up. Like, I heard of some dudes, they fight at 122, they blow up to like 160. Like, what?
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. I thought you was going to tell me like, yeah, I get up to like 150, 160. I was going to say,
that's fucking wild. Like, no.
Yeah,
I ain't never been up that high. Like,
all the top guys I know that are physically fit and in shape, they say I never get above 15 or 20 pounds. He said, and they said because if someone says they need me ready in 6 to 8 weeks, he said you're talking about nothing more than a couple pounds every couple of days. He said, and then by the time it's fight week, you're right there, you're a pound or 2 down. And you go in there, you walk in there, you're healthy, you're good, you're not dehydrated, you haven't boiled yourself down, you haven't dried out and drained yourself, and now you're just ready to fight.
Exactly. It's like, you know, all the top fighters lose about 20 pounds. You know, you lose about 20 pounds to make weight and whatever, but all that, anything above that, y'all niggas wild. Like,
some of them sloppy though, bro. Some of them top guys are sloppy like that though.
See, I mean, I was going through a lot of personal things outside the ring, you know, like I stay focused. Like, this is my life. I've sacrificed everything just to be sitting here having this conversation with you.
Talk about it.
You know, so I like not only owe it to the fans, I owe it to myself to be the best I could be. You know, so struggling to make weight, that's not putting myself in the best position to win. And, you know, I have to do that.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm glad you said that because if this is what you choose as your life, as your livelihood, you got to give it all, man. And your body is not only your temple, but that's how you make your living. So you got to make sure that you are in tip top shape and taking care of the best yourself the best way possible. Do you read any books?
I mean, I have a little bit of, but like not a whole lot. Like one of my goals actually was like last year was to read more, and I read a few books and then I kind of just fell off, and it was just, life and just this and that.
Yeah.
So I really got to pick that back up.
I probably know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Because I know coming from where we come from, it's not a lot of options for us. And there are very few of us from each family that makes it. So are you the primary breadwinner in your family?
Yeah, 100%. I'm all about breaking generational curses.
Yes, sir.
But in order to do that, you have to understand what it is you're breaking and then how to go about it. But yeah, I am.
So you get pulled in different directions, and they try to use you and damn near bankrupt you in the process.
I mean, well, family you've never heard of hitting you up like, yo, I lived my whole life and never had a conversation with you. Like, why should that change now? Because I choose to be better, to do better. Like, nah, like, hey, I'm not gonna get.
And I'm only saying that because I've encountered it. It's not to like harp on anything that you got going on. It's just because I run across people who say, "Hey, cuz," and they reaching out. And it's like, no, man, like where were you when I went through the struggle to get to this point? Like I didn't see nobody when I was grinding and I was walking around with cardboard in my shoes. You know what I mean? Like, where were you all then? And then for me to finally get to a position of where I'm I guess successful or I'm doing good, all of a sudden everybody, they got their hand out. So I definitely get it. I understand it. It's that fake love that just shows up, but you have to be able to process it and have discernment when you're dealing with people anyway.
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, I just look at it black and white. Like if I've lived my whole life and never had a conversation with you, like to me, like family is more than
more than blood.
Being related. Like okay, like we're related, like we share the same blood, but that doesn't mean we're family. Like I mean, that's different. Like blood means we're related, but that doesn't mean we're family.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. So how do you like living out in Vegas?
I mean, I love it out here. It's shit. You can turn up on a Monday, on a Tuesday, and it's like a Friday, Saturday. But like, especially when I first moved out here, I was all about business. I hit the ground running. I was training myself. I didn't have a gym lined up. I didn't have a coach lined up, but I had vision and I had a goal, and I was, working towards that. So even now, I don't be turned up like that. Like I love to have fun when I can, but like key word is when I can. Like every weekend ain't a party, and I don't care what type of chicks I'm kicking it with or what people trying to get into. I do me. I don't follow the crowd. I don't, I just do me.
All right. Tell me, what boxers, dead or alive, would you like to sit down and talk to and have a conversation with?
Marvin Hagler.
My favorite.
Hands down, huge fan of his, and I, kind of relate to him in a lot of different ways. He was highly avoided, but he also felt like he didn't get the recognition he deserved, which is why he changed his name to Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
He had to put something on it. He had to put some sauce on it.
Exactly. Yeah. So hands down, him, hands down, like number by far.
Yeah.
Pernell Whitaker, I think that'd be Prince Nassim.
Okay.
Shit. Man, those are my top three. Obviously I got a lot more, just being a fan of the sport and everything. But I mean, even Tyson, like, I think he lives in Vegas. I haven't came across Tyson yet.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to sit with Marvin Hagler and like pick his brain and talk about boxing and everything, man. That would be so awesome.
I'd want to talk about boxing and outside of boxing.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything. Like how did he know when to turn it off? Like did it take him a while to turn it off, or did he when he stepped out the ring?
Yeah, and then also like I'd want to ask him like, okay, so what gave him the idea about changing his name? Because, you know, he didn't feel like he got the recognition, but after you changed your name like that, like, how did you feel? What extra did that, how much of an extra push did that give you? Because you can't just change your name like that and just fall the fuck off, or, you know, get knocked out or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that gives you extra motivation. Like, look, this is it.
I'm saying that because I am that. Exactly. And he lived up to it.
Oh yeah.
He lived up to it. It wasn't like he said that shit and then he went by destruction and destroy and all that stuff and war, and he just said it. Now he lived that.
Yeah. And this was when it was like boxing every weekend, but the best of the best fighting the best.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it was still about business, but it wasn't none about this. Oh well, I'll fight this guy because he's an easier fucking fight, even though this guy is the champ. This is the guy the fans want to see me fight. But nah, I'm not gonna do that. Nah, like that. The real fights was happening back then, and that's why boxing was jumping.
Yeah. Marvin was king of the hill, and once he became king of the hill, he said, "Everybody that wants a piece of me at 160, come see me. I'm not going nowhere. I'll be here. Just step up." He asked for the fight with Tom. He asked for it with Sugar Ray, Roberto Duran. He had told Wilfredo Benitez if he ever felt froggy, he'd leap. You know what I mean? Like, he was really with all that shit, and I love Marvin for that, man. He never ran from nobody.
No.
He never ran from a fight, man. And that was one of the things that I really had admired about him from watching him, because here's a guy that went 35 fights, I think, or 40 fights before he finally got a title shot. And then when you go back and you look at what was going on, even Bob Arum was like, I don't want to put nobody in front of that guy.
And I think the only reason that happened is because I think there was like a congressman who was like a big boxing fan. And I think he reached out to Hagler reached out to him, and then he was kind of pushing for the fight, you know? So it's like,
you know your shit. You
know, he had some juice, and it was like, but it took all that.
It took a congressman to shine light on Hagler's name and what he was doing for them to say, all right, let's get this guy, let's get him a chance.
Right. You know, like, that's wild. But
do you have a favorite 1 to 3 favorite Hagler fights?
Not really. I mean, I just like them all, you know, win, lose, draw. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just watching the way he carries himself, you know, the delivery of some of his punches, you know, and stuff like that. I can't really say I got a top 3. You know, it's damn. Yeah, it'd be tough.
It'll be tough. Okay. All right. Yeah. Like, I can sit here and watch him all day. I can sit and watch Marvin all day, because when you're looking at him, you're not just looking at a guy who comes to punish you and break you down. But Marvin could box. Mm-hmm. He could box. He could sit there and just box you and everything and just let you fall asleep. Wait till you fall asleep and then throw the trap out there. Like, all right, got you. You wasn't paying attention. You know, and I love watching him work, you know, because he was always working, and just like blue collar work, you know, and that just lets me know, like, a guy like that, his style basically was a reference. It imitated where he came from, you know, everything that he was struggling with and dealing with just to get to that point. But definitely, if I could sit down, Marvin would be at my table. Roy Jones would be at my table. Sugar Ray Robinson would be at my table. Archie Moore would be at my table. And probably Jack Johnson would be at my table.
Oh, man. Okay.
I was like, yo, Jack, what made you ride around thinking that you could fuck all them white women like that, bro?
Right, for real.
You know, and could nobody fuck with you?
Yeah.
And could nobody fuck with you?
At a time like that, and just life. Woo.
Yes, when it was heavily racist and people hated us just for no reason at all.
Man.
And just riding around with white women, knocking them down, you know, and couldn't nobody say nothing to the man.
All right.
Wow. Like, yo, I would have so many questions for him, man. I'll have so many questions for him, because don't you think, to me, at some point, there has to be a point where, like, I'm sure you have the attitude, I don't give a fuck, the same way I got the attitude, I don't give a fuck, but his had to be, like,
beyond that.
You know, like,
and it had to be, just like, you know, imagine him growing up, imagine him just through the amateurs, or, you know, through the pro ranks and everything. Like, it had to be. You know, like shit.
Yeah, he had to have a crazy ego and self-esteem in himself that said, man, I don't give a fuck with nobody. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And if y'all got a problem with it, y'all can come see me about it. You know?
Right.
So I definitely would like to have him at my table and sit down and have one of those conversations with me and shoot the shit. Definitely. Right now, when you look at the landscape of boxing, who do you like?
I mean, obviously, you know, I do like Canelo. I kind of just feel like he does like Canelo's, you know, great fighter, but I do kind of feel like he, you know, kind of cherry picks some of his fights, you know, fighting these UK dudes and this and that. And it was like Caleb, you know, was his first US fight since what, he fought Floyd or whatever the fuck.
After he fought Floyd, he fought James Kirkland, but James Kirkland was shot by then. He had a new trainer and all that.
He came back out from like retirement, you know, and so that's kind of, but Caleb was still kind of safe because he's not a hitter, boxer, but wasn't a hitter, you know. And
right. So I had a guy tell me that Caleb would knock him out.
Yo, this is like, you know, the craziest thing to me is what Caleb said in fight. You're a great fighter. You're getting your ass beat by this dude who's a great fighter, but you're gonna tell him he's a great fighter? Nigga, like that, like as a warrior, as a warrior who's willing to die on his sword, you don't never say that to nobody in fight. You want to say that after you win, lose, draw, all right. No. But in fight?
Because to me, if you telling me that during the course of the fight, I feel like maybe you know that you're overmatched.
Oh yeah, you just hoping not to get knocked out. You trying to survive. You're a great fighter.
Yeah.
Don't knock me out.
What do you think? What do you think of my skills? But that's me. That's me. That's my opinion. You know.
I can't. Yeah. So that was But yeah, just
because so the cherry picking, I feel that way. I agree with that. I haven't seen him in his current prime since the Mayweather fight and since the Eris Lundy-Lara fight a guy that is of the Floyd stature, like a guy that's just as elusive, and we haven't seen him do that. And we all know who it's supposed to be. It should be Andre.
Yeah, he should. Yeah.
That's the guy. If you want to show us that you really that dude, fight him. Because if you fight him and you beat him, I can't say nothing else.
Well, I mean, I feel like if you want to truly be solidified, like obviously people are still going to give him the title, but if you want to truly be solidified, beat the Charlo, beat the Benavidez, beat the Andre. Can't nobody say nothing. But see, that's what Floyd did time and time again to all the big fucking names. So, I mean, hey, if you want to be solidified, do it like that.
But we're not seeing that from him. We seeing him take on the Rocky Fieldings.
Who did he fight before Caleb? The UK dude?
Callum Smith.
What? Come on.
Callum Smith, bro. And Callum Smith was a champion. However, I don't even think with a whole camp, because, you know, he did that fight within like 5 weeks. And, you know, in 5 weeks, you got to fly out to America. You got to get a spot to live. You got to find a place to train. So that's pretty much your whole time trying to get here and set up shop.
Now, this might be a biased opinion to me, you know, and like, you know, a champion is a champion. But when you're a champion in the UK, it's not like being a champion in the US. When you're a champion in Africa, it's not like being a champion in the US.
No, sir.
You know, so like, call me biased if you want to, but like, I've been in the gym with them, like, you know, with champs from different states and come here, like, they're like a fucking amateur.
They are.
You know?
And it's not to speak ill about them, but their style is very straight up. It's very straight up and down. It's not the most unpredictable thing, and within the first minute or two, you know, you're either gonna outbox him or knock his head off. Like, you can tell. Yeah, you can tell. Even through the amateurs, when you see him, you go, "Oh, I know what this is."
Yeah,
I know what this is. I know how this night is gonna go. You know what I mean? So I definitely would like to see him, like you said, a Charlo, a Andrade, or a Benavidez. Now, I think Bivol is a decent challenge, though. I will say that. I think it's a challenge.
I just feel like, you know, he's going to be a little bit slower, which will give Canelo an advantage. But, I mean, I'm still seeing that as a 60-40. I mean, fuck, you're fighting in Canelo's backyard. You know, like, you got to beat him. Yep. He's the money bag. He's the champ. Like, you got to beat him.
You have to embarrass him or knock him out.
And that 1-1-2 shit ain't gonna do it because he gonna be sitting in the pocket waiting on that.
Yeah.
Canelo, even though I would say he has gotten better, but not to the level that we have. He hasn't went to that high level where we know that can't nobody really fuck with him. Like, I want to see that out of Canelo. Like, yo, can't nobody fuck with me. And give me the Charlo, give me the Benavidez, give me the Andre.
Right, but hey, if we gonna keep it real, we gotta keep it real. Like, he out here breaking dudes orbital bones, eating that Mexican beef. It's like
that's the other part, right?
We don't forget, like, what the fuck,
They changed the rules for him. The WBC changed the rules for him so he could do it.
Yeah, and it's just like when Valdez knocked out old boy who just fought. I forgot his last name.
Burchell.
Yeah, Burchell. He shouldn't even had that fight. Like, he should have at least 6 months suspension, something.
Yeah,
like,
they went right into that fight.
How you gonna pop dirty and just, like, come on. And they just so happen to have the same trainer. Like,
just so happen to have the same trainer.
But hey, we don't talk about that.
The other thing about it was, well, you live in Mexico. How you not know that the beef was tainted? Like, aren't they supposed to do something about that before it reach you?
Yeah, it went. Yeah, what else you gonna say? Yeah, you ain't gonna cop to it.
Yeah, no. So since you spoke on him, what do you think of David Benavidez? Because I like him.
Yeah. I mean, fast hands, can hit. I mean, he's not much of a boxer, but he's tall. Yeah,
but he got a good jab too. He got a good jab.
Oh yeah, fast hands. He can hit. I like Benavidez. I'd like him more if he had some type of movement, because I don't believe in absorbing all the time. And then you don't really know what the refs are counting. Like, you absorb 4 or 5 punches. Shit, 2 of the refs could have counted all those punches. Maybe you blocked them all, but you don't really know.
Yeah,
but
you could block them all, and it just looks good. It just looks good because of activity.
Yeah. See, I like Benavidez in a Canelo fight, but now without any true movement, like, fuck, you're gonna be eating a lot of shots, especially in those championship rounds. Shit, it's gonna be a dog fight. So
I think that's what Dave wants, though. I think
that'd be a great fight.
Yeah, I need David to tighten up on his defense, and I also need him to work on that midsection, man, because he be coming to the ring looking like, he ate half a turkey before he got there. So
Mr. Pillsbury Doughboy.
Man, what's up with that, man? Mikey Garcia and them, like, all the motherfuckers be showing up to the ring with the little bellies and shit. It's like they just say fuck working out the abs.
I mean, well, but see, sometimes it might just be your body structure. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Cause, like, dude, be in shape, be ready. But it's like, yo, you soft in the middle.
Yeah. And I will say that, man, David cardio game is crazy. Cause his last couple fights, I don't know if you watch them, but I be paying attention to a lot of shit that y'all be doing. Cause I used to be in the gym and shit. But when I watch him, he barely breathing hard, man.
Yeah.
I be looking like, what the fuck? What type of cardio they got dude doing? Maybe it's that Big Bear training. He Big Bear in Colorado. Maybe that's that elevation is what it's doing it for him.
Could be, could be. But hey, hard work, consistency, get you there.
Do you think that you could possibly get a fight with what's his name? Inoue?
I believe it's possible. He moves up. I expect to beat the next guy I fight for the world title this year, win it. He moves up to the division. He's fair game. He's a champion. He has a big test in front of him in a rematch with Nonito Donaire. So that'd be a good fight.
That's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, that'd be a good fight. I think Nonito's gotten better since they last fought, only because I don't think he was at that weight for that long before they fought. So
no,
actually, matter of fact, they fought in the tournament. So
yeah. That was it. That was like his first original weight for Nonito when he first turned pro. And remember, he tried to go up and fight the Axeman. And the Axeman was like, no, access denied, and chopped him down. He was like, all right, it's probably best if I go back down.
Yeah, but he's had his feet under him at that weight for a minute now. I think he's gotten better. So that'd be a great fight. But in a way, moves up to the division. He's fair game for all the top dogs.
What is he? Is he 118 or is he lighter?
18.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. No.
All right. So what about you? If you can't get nothing there, does it matter about going up to 126 or anything?
Yeah, but I have to win the title first, you know,
Okay.
because that's the short-term goal.
I need you to get a title,
world
man. I need you to get one of them titles, bro.
The short-term goal is winning the world title at the 22-pound division, defend it, move up. You know, whether I move up to 126 or 130 is a question. You know, that's where the opportunity is. I mean, fuck. I always fought 132 in the amateurs. You know, I would love to move up to 130. Big hitters, great fighters, heart, you know, but where the opportunity is. But
okay.
Yeah.
Could you see yourself staying at 122 to become undisputed?
If the opportunity is there, you know, so like, you know, I win it. Obviously, there'll be negotiations to get Ahmadallah on this side or meeting in the middle, you know, try and do something like that. But I wouldn't hold my breath for it. If it's possible, oh yeah, 100%. Who wouldn't want to be undisputed at 22? Like, I don't think that's ever actually happened.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking, bro. Because it's somebody got to do it.
Right. So it'd be great for history and to be that person. Hell yeah. But it has to be possible, you know. So if it's not possible, I'm just gonna move on. I'm gonna do whatever is best for me.
We're gonna have to find a way to negotiate, bargain, or threaten Ahmadallah over there and tell him, man, get your ass to the table, bro.
But see, the most important thing is getting there. That's the most important thing. Got to get there. Yeah. And
that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Definitely. But I would love to see you against these top guys, man. I swear. That's why I was looking like, dude, I was like, I'll be looking at him like, yo, they just got to get him that one good shot so the world can see him. Because it's not like you like a troublemaker. It's not like you be out here doing bullshit all the time.
Nah, well, it's not that. It's the guys don't want to fight me. See, I've never had the option to fight 2-3 different guys. It's like, okay, this is who you're fighting. It's like, okay. But see, you get the guys like Fulton and whatnot, you know, you got 3 guys you can choose. You want to fight him, or him. And you know, I get passed up.
Okay.
So
do you think it's a situation, and this is just me having an idea because I don't, you know more of the inner workings of this thing. But you think you could do something like look between WBA, WBC, WBO, and the IBF and see who's a top ranked 1 through 5 and just see if you can get one of those guys to fight?
Well, that will pretty much like that's already kind of taken place, you know. So like now, like I have my next fight is going to be a title eliminator, which is the situation I want to be in, you know, to where if the next guy doesn't fight me, he has to vacate. But any which way, I'm still going to get my shot. You know, that's the situation I have to put myself in because otherwise, you know, it's never going to happen. Okay.
At one point, did you have you don't have to talk about this if you want to. Did you have like a bout with depression?
Yeah. You know, I went through some depression and stuff like that. You know, really missing my daughter. You know, some other personal things. You know, yeah. You know, and shit. Even now, you know, I got some crazy things going back home in Michigan. You know, but I'm not depressed right now, but just some crazy shit was going on back in Michigan. But yeah, you know, I haven't really told nobody, but you know, kicking it with a girl, whatever. She tells me she's pregnant, you know, and I already got 1,000 things going through my head. I got a big fight coming up. I was already depressed. Now I got this going through my head, and I'm like, yo, my best friend from Michigan came into town. It's Halloween weekend. We drank like 4 days straight. You know, he took off. I'm still training, but like my head's all over the place. I'm struggling to cut weight, you know, fight comes around, but like, you know, I'm not telling nobody what's going on. It's like, I got to be focused. Manager, you know, that's a cop out, you know, managers, promoters, trainers, like, nah, like put me in the game. I'm going to find a way to win no matter what I'm going through. Cause that's what champions do. But man, you know, I was all over the place.
Have you cut the drinking out?
Yeah. You know, I haven't drank or anything like that. You know, I haven't been eating out. I've been trying to do things right. You know, I'm in a good place mentally. You know, I'm in a good place physically and all that stuff. You know, but just a lot of things going on that was out of my control. Well, most of the things.
Some of it we can't control. Some of it we can't control.
Right. I mean, but like, you know,
and some of it we don't even have to control. We can just leave it the fuck alone because it ain't ours to fight or deal with.
Yeah, and you know, like mid-December, almost January, whatever, you know, she ended up telling me she lost it, you know, so it's like fuck. But you know, just life, crazy
Okay.
stuff. So
Okay. Do you have any kids currently?
I have a daughter. I have an
Okay.
8-year-old daughter.
All right.
She lives in Arizona.
Okay. Why not out in Vegas? Is it best for her to be in Arizona?
Well, so we're all originally from Michigan,
Right.
and I made the ultimate sacrifice, moving 2,000 miles away to pursue my career, to provide a better future for myself and her.
Gotcha.
She then moved to Florida and then Florida to Arizona. But, obviously I still miss her. I miss time. She's getting older. Like shit, it's hard, but you got to do what you got to do.
My next question. What do you think needs to change in boxing?
Well, I think they got to get rid of a lot of the fake belts, which they have started cleaning, which is great.
Facts.
I think they got to start making champs fight champs, and make boxing pop how it used to pop. It's like if you're in this category, you got to fight these group of people. There's no way around it. Otherwise, you got to vacate, move up, whatever. I think that'd be great for the fans. It'd be great for the sport. So
I think that's one of the things that's missing, that we aren't seeing the best fight the best. Like everybody gets to grab a belt and then just go off and do their own thing. And no one seems to want to unify and put on the best fights. And when you don't put on the best fights, you can't gain traction and you can't make the sport any better than what it is, because we can't see the best guys fighting the best and getting the best results out of it.
But also, it's the boxing politics behind it, because if you're a champ on this platform and there's a champ on that platform, you guys fit the same category, have to fight. Without anything being changed, that fight 9.5 times out of 10 will never happen. Very because true. The politics. So very it's true. Like they gotta get that out of there somehow. To where.
So is it because you would know better than I would? Is it partly the fighters' fault and the promoters, or is it just all on the promoters to say, I'm just keep my guy over here doing this?
Oh, I wouldn't say it's all on the promoters. I'd say some could be on the fighter. Maybe the fighter doesn't necessarily want to fight the other guy.
I don't think maybe some of these guys want to fight though.
But that's not like, maybe the promoter wants to fight, but the fighter doesn't, or same vice versa. The fighter wants it, but the promoter doesn't. It's not putting money in the promoter's pocket. Maybe the other guy, he's a champ, but he's not a big draw, but you are a draw, or maybe you both aren't a real big draw, but it's like, okay, well, it's not really a win. It's just I don't know.
Yeah, it's not
but
a big money.
I feel like that's
got to
be scrapped.
Yeah.
That's got to be scrapped somehow, and I feel like then boxing will be back where it once was. Because back then it wasn't so much like that. So that I feel like that's a big problem.
Do you think that you guys should have a boxing union?
That'd be amazing, but I don't really see that ever happening. But
really, I think you guys need that, man.
I think in order for that to happen, it would take some of the greats coming together, the past fighters and champions, and to organize it, and because they've lived through it, so like, how can they make their kids who are fighters or their friends or connects or whatever do better and be better than what you once were?
Yeah, because we need the sport to grow, and we need to consider the safety of you guys as fighters. You guys aren't just warriors in a ring, but you guys take, you use your body to make a living, and there needs to be some type of backing for that, some insurance and some type of 401k or something where it takes care of like doctor bills and things like that, so you guys don't have to worry about that type of stuff. Because I'm sure there's guys that are like making $500 for a fight, you know what I mean, and they still got a family to feed.
But see, the problem with that is like, okay, out of each fight, we can take X amount of money and put it over here and then match it. But there's some fighters going fight to fight and only surviving off that. So like, instead of that $200 going to them, I need all that, like, because I'm struggling for gas, I'm struggling to eat, I'm struggling to provide. So it's like, I need to get as much in my pocket as possible.
Yeah, I think it should come out of the promoter's pocket too, though, for the union.
Right, but that's the situation that a lot of fighters are in.
Is that something that you hear all the time, guys? Especially, I gotta get a job or something like that.
Oh, you hear it a lot. Yeah. I mean, that's that for in boxing, that's the norm. Like that's the norm. Now
Yeah.
it's every fighter's dream to be able to train and box full time, but you got to be at a certain level to be able to do that, because otherwise it ain't fucking happening.
Yeah, I hear from time to time. I hear guys being firefighters or they work at a grocery store part time. Some of them are teachers and shit like that, just so they could make ends meet.
Right.
And it that bothers me. Like it frustrates the fuck out of me, and it kind of makes me angry because it's like these dudes are doing literally killing themselves to get in shape just so they can kill another motherfucker.
Yeah.
And they're getting treated like just like toys. Like you can just be broken up and just thrown away and just pick up another one and say, all right, I got a new toy. And that's not how it should work.
Yeah. No, it's true. But once or if boxing ever innovates, kind of catches up with the times and really tries to blow the UFC and all that out the water, and until that happens, hey, you gotta keep kind of.
Yeah. And since you said it that way, because when I look at the UFC, even though they're not getting paid good money, the best are fighting the best over there. Like that, they are really sticking to the king of heel mentality.
Yeah, I mean they're not fighting for a lot, but the best are fighting the best.
Absolutely, and that's definitely one of the things we want to see. Definitely one of the things we want to see. Have you noticed that we're living more in the undisputed era of boxing? Like we're seeing more of that.
Oh well, yeah, no, we are for sure. And then it's kind of like, well, why do you think that is? It's like, well, when the best don't fight the best, it's kind of, easier. The path is easier versus back in the day. The best is fighting the best.
All the time.
It's hard to be undisputed when you're way up. You're fighting a champ already with belts or whatever, and then you're still climbing and just, yeah.
Let me ask you this question. What fights would you like to see this year or in the future?
For myself or just in general?
For yourself, and then, just in the landscape of boxing.
Well, I do want to see that Nonito Inoue fight. I do want to see that. I want to see who comes out on top. I'm pulling for Nonito. I mean, I want Nonito to win. He was a big influence as to why I ended up moving to Vegas. But so that I got to get through my fight. I'm fighting a good guy coming up, Mike Polania.
Okay, I have to look him up. I don't know. He don't ring a bell to me.
I think it's like 19-1 or something like that. He just beat that Joshua Greer. Well, he beat Joshua Greer not too long ago.
Okay, but I know Joshua Greer.
Yeah. So he gave him a loss, but he's a good fighter, strong, explosive. I want the Fulton fight, or him, the winner of Fulton Roman.
Okay.
So that's gonna be a good fight. So whoever comes out on top, that's what I want. Obviously, I'd want to see Canelo and Charlo, or Canelo and Benavidez.
Yes, man.
I think that'd be good. And I like Tank. I don't care for the Rolly fight, but I want to see Tank fight a big name, preferably at 35, because I believe that's his division. But I think he's trying to move up to 40, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that.
I got a question about you done, or you gonna keep going?
No, you good.
Okay. I don't care much for that fight, but it's a knockout, right?
I think Tank knocks him out. Like people saying, like Rolly is strong and this and that, but like I fought on the card with Rolly. Like I ain't got nothing against him, but like
I don't see it.
I don't feel like he has a lot of experience. And then also, who has he fought? He hasn't fought nobody. Like, I mean, Tank has fought Santa Cruz. Tank fought the Pitbull. The Pitbull brought it.
Yeah.
I don't see Rolly beating the Pitbull.
No.
I don't see that happening. I don't see Rolly beating Santa Cruz.
I could maybe see that happening, but when I look at him, I just see a guy who tries to plant and throws one or two shots of power and take your head off. And boxing, even though you guys don't get paid for overtime, it is a sport of skill and science. And repetition in the ring isn't always good for you. If a guy like Tank, who's had 200-300 amateur fights, if he can start picking that shit apart. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna notice all the stuff that you're doing, and then he's gonna start just exposing it and picking it apart. And when you look at least when I look at Rolly and I go, what do you really do besides punch?
Well, I mean, he doesn't have fast hands. He doesn't have fast feet. I don't know how good his boxing IQ is. I've never really seen him roll, step, pivot, maybe a few feints, but like what do you bring to the table? I mean, yeah, I mean, he's won some fights. I don't think he's fought anybody. I guess he can hit. But I feel like when you get to a certain level, you got to be able to do certain things. And just hitting hard is good, but I think that can only get you so far.
Yeah, and this is the thing that you notice because you're a professional now. I notice because I used to just fight. You notice in the ring when they're hiding a power puncher behind boxing because the shit just be basic and he can just punch, but you just know that he's good enough to get close enough to you and box well enough to punch. They should have just done that with him too.
Yeah, I mean, because I could see that fight happening. There's gonna be a time he has to use his legs, and like I don't think I've ever seen him use his legs. So like, how do you do it?
No, Tank is coming in that ring, and he is throwing shots. Like I don't know how fast it's gonna. Like I don't know if it's gonna start in round 1, but
yeah, I mean,
that's gonna be a pain. That's gonna be a painful fight.
Tank has fast hands. He can hit. He has skills. He has a big boxing IQ. So it's like he can use his legs. Hey, I don't know, but it's happening. So actually, oh yeah, it's happening in May, right? So like May, like yeah, like 29th, something like that.
Yeah, like the second or third week in May. Yeah. I'm going to tune in. I don't think I'm gonna see if one of the buddies want to pay for that because I don't want to pay for that fight. Man.
Yeah,
I want to see it, but I don't want to pay for it.
I feel you. If I catch it, I catch it, but it ain't. I'm not paying for it. Yeah, I feel you.
As far as working out for you, do you have a routine? Like, do you get up early, like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock?
I've been waking up at 6 lately. I've been waking up at 6, doing my morning routine. Hit my sit-ups, stretch, eat breakfast, chill, and then get the day started.
Okay, so you do stretch because I hear some guys pass on that.
Yeah, I'm actually getting stretched before too long. I'm gonna get stretched and massaged a little bit, and probably like 30 minutes actually.
Okay, cool. Let me know, man, so I don't take you over your time and everything. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this talk.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Definitely. So do you ever do yoga?
Yeah, I've done yoga. I haven't done yoga in a minute, but I go to hot Pilates.
Okay.
So like the Pilates, I'm like, man, like the first time I did it, it was my first 3-a-day. I'd worked out in the morning at the boxing gym, spar, hit the mitts, hit the bag, boom, went straight to the fitness gym, got it in, went to the crib, chill, ate, and I'm like, you know what? Let me pop into a Pilates gym and see what it's about. So I did like a little intro class. Like I was able to join for free. I almost wanted to lead a class by the end of the day. Like I was like, yo, I was dead. I'm like, look, I got to sign up. I got to. I got to. It was hot Pilates. I was in there dripping wet.
Yeah.
But the workouts we did, working those small muscles you don't typically work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in there dead. And I'm like, I got to sign up. So wow. I did it on the spot. And I've been rocking with that place for a minute.
Excellent. Because that's part of getting the muscles to stretch and all those, like you said, those little bitty muscles that we take for granted or don't know much about, opening the body up and letting that blood flow and everything.
Yeah, and I'm consistently trying to get better. It's like, what can I do to add another dynamic to my workouts? So instead of, I don't believe the boxing gym is enough. You can't just go to the boxing gym, So, okay, I go to the fitness gym too. Okay, well, you can't just go to the fitness gym. All right, fuck it. I'm gonna go to the Pilates gym too. I'm trying to be the best that I can be. So that's why, some dudes, oh, you go to Pilates? Like, I ain't doing that. Yeah, okay, nigga, come to a class and make it through.
Yeah.
And make it through.
Yeah. Facts. Are you big on sparring? That's a question I have for you. Are you big on sparring? Like, how often do you spar?
I like to spar, but I'm a workhorse. It's easy for me to overtrain. You know how hard it is to do a 3-a-day? 2-a-days is hard too.
Yeah.
But like, so I'm trying to manage things a lot better. I do like sparring, but it's all about managing what you're doing. You know, like I was supposed to fight in like what November? No, wait.
You fought in November, right?
I was supposed to fight in September, and then they got pushed back to November. But I was originally supposed to fight in like August. So it's like, you know, boom, 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 and it's like, fuck. You know.
So when it comes to sparring, do you prefer to find out when you're actually fighting and then start sparring?
Preferably, you know, so that way it's like, yo, I already got in like 200 plus rounds or something like that, and I'm not fighting for like another 3 months. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, got you.
So you got to kind of, or for me, it's like I'm trying to do things better, smarter.
Yeah,
you know, like what works best for me. Like I don't care what works best for you. You know, what works best for me. So that's
because I've seen some guys in the gym without a fight, and like they were going like they were dogging each other, and I was like, yo, y'all, why y'all going to war?
Yeah,
nobody has a fight. Like, what are you guys doing? There's no amateurs, nothing. There's nothing going on, and you guys are in there going at each other like that. That's how you end up with a lot of punishment.
Right. That, and then you burn yourself out. You know, it's fight night, and it's like, fuck, I don't feel explosive as I was when I first started sparring or whatever, because you did too much for too long.
Yeah. So I've seen it a couple times. I was like, man, these guys got to learn how to hit the chill button, man. Sometimes that bravado is best to just turn that shit off and go, no, fam, we ain't doing that until I find out when I got to fight, bro. Because you wear yourself out like that.
Big facts, you know.
Hell yeah. So do you, in between time, have you had a chance to travel? Do you like traveling?
Yeah, I like to travel. You know, I want to do more in the future, you know, but I like to travel. After my next fight.
Right now you grinding, right?
Yeah, I'm grinding right now. I'm actually taking a trip to Michigan next week, you know, just family stuff going on and everything. But I'll be back. I'm only going to be there for like 4 days, you know, so I'll be back, and I'm all about business up until after I fight, and then, you know, see what's up.
How often of a time period do you chill out after a fight before you go back into training?
You know, kind of just depends on what's going on, you know, like after my last fight, you know, I call my publicist. I'm like, fuck, man, like I'm depressed and shit. And he's like, why, what's up? Like, you won, be happy. And I'm like, man, I just got a lot of shit going on, you know? So I didn't really, that whole month of December, I didn't do nothing. You know, I was just in the crib, like, one celebrate. And usually I'll celebrate after a win. Like, you know, I had a dope ass after party at the Aria, the Jewel at the Aria, you know, shout out to Aria, you know, but I chilled. Like, I was in the motherfucking crib. I ain't do shit. I ain't leave nothing until about like mid-January. And then I was like, all right, like, I'm cool.
Because I don't remember you taking much punishment in that fight.
No, it's not about taking punishment or anything. It was just so much I was going on outside the ring and stuff like that. And it was just life, trying to figure out things, you know, how can I see my daughter more, and just, you know, just life.
Are there any business ventures that you got going on that you want to plug on the podcast?
Man, you know, I'm just working on some things. That's all I can really speak on right now. You know, I'm talking to a few different people, just trying to work on some things and trying to figure out what's the best approach and when. Like, right now, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get to the world title fight. I'm trying to win the world title fight. So, like, that's taking up all my time, effort, and energy. And I kind of have to keep it like that until I get there. But once I get there, it's gotta be right now. Everything's gotta click right now. So that's what I'm trying to get set up, instead of getting there and then trying to figure out, like, okay, now it's time. I'm already want to have shit set up.
Okay. All right. I'm not telling you to do this, but do you feel like you have to do like some of these other guys are doing? Not saying that you have to, but you got to be on social media acting all crazy, and
you know,
so people can take notice of you. But I know that you're a skilled dude, but do you feel like you may have to do something like that? I ain't telling you to.
I'm just not a social media fighter, you know, and but a lot of that is just how I was raised. You know, I was raised not to put my business out there on Front Street. You know what I'm saying? Like, people's not supposed to know how I'm moving, what I'm doing, when I'm doing it. Right. I just don't feel comfortable doing that, because it's like, even if I tried, I would revert back to who the fuck I am and just grind or whatever I'm doing, because that's me. Like, I can't do it. And it's not so much as like, I hate people who do that. I don't care. Do you?
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna be me. Like, I'm not gonna like try to do that because that's what people want me to do or tell me that's what I should do. Maybe I should, but I'm just not that way. I just do me, and it is what it is. And see, in boxing, I thought the best, you just got to be the best. You got to win. You got to look good doing it, and you a pop. Well, I didn't know about boxing politics. So it's like, oh shit, it ain't like that. Not only do you got to do that, but you got to do that, and that in order to have an opportunity at a talk, at a conversation.
Well, if you get the chance, man, on your next check, try to set something aside for some real estate or something like that. So you good.
Yeah, for sure. No, I hear you on that.
Yes, sir.
Looking at some things in Arizona because my daughter's out there. So it's like, okay, if I can get some properties out there, cool. So
definitely
trying to figure some things out.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today is Rais the Beast Aleem. Good sir, I appreciate you jumping in on this with me and having this talk with me. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. Anytime. Just hit me up.
Sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna let you go ahead and get to your yoga or your stretching or whatever it is, so I can get ready and get myself together and head out. But I appreciate you, man. Once again, this is Full Profits Podcast, episode with Rais the Beast Aleem. Remember the mission statement when you're striving for greatness. God never puts you in a driver's seat if it's taken. We done.